this might give you some insight into what could be called the roots of wokeness. It's Joe Barbera in a clip from, I think,
Hanna-Barbera, Joe Barbera?
Hanna-Barbera, Joe Barbera, Joe
Wow.
Barbera.
69.
It's a clip from 60 Minutes at the time. It's a profile of him. And I just want to observe something. I'm only going to play a couple minutes. I want you to see if you see what I see about this. Here, let's go.
That would take 1 hour and a half for 2 stories, the whole pitch. And I remember doing 5 of them in one day. 5. One scream, and every troll in town heads for the door, you know what I mean?
Barbera is still pitching, but the times, the tastes, and the sensibilities have changed.
Why should the female scream?
She just...
You hear what she said?
No, what did she say?
She said, why does the female scream? I'm going to keep watching. I can back that up slightly if you want to get that. Here we go. Again.
Heads for the door, you know what I mean?
Barbera is still pitching, but the times, the tastes, and the sensibilities have changed.
Why should the female scream?
She just stopped screaming. She doesn't scream.
Why did you feel the need to have a host?
I think we feel the need for an adult figure.
Well,
I mean, it isn't the school.
Well, the host controls...
So you wouldn't really call, why do you call him a host?
The people who pick children's programs for the networks, like NBC's Phyllis Tucker Vincent and her aides, insist that Barbera stick to their rules.
Did you hear what they said? I'm sorry, the audio's not great. Insist they stick to their rules. This team of executives. I'll play a little more. What's that, Alan? You said
1985. All right, I'm just getting context here.
Right when Yuri Bezmenov was talking about the insertion of all the fun changes and
yeah. So here, I'll just play a little bit more and then we can discuss.
No racial or sexual stereotypes. Few words of more than one syllable, and above all, easy with the violence.
Did you hear that? No racial or sexual, no, violence.
Wow.
Anyways.
What was once considered slapstick is now considered antisocial.
I have one comment about your military school guys. No minority kids. In fact, the other thing you could even think about, in today's military schools, there's girls.
You are right. You are right. Good heavens. This all results in a kind of a policing, which is necessary, and results in a kind of a leveling off of the kind of entertainment. It's all the same, it seems to me.
You hear what he's saying? It's all the same now.
He's totally right.
It turned into the Star Wars canon group, and
this is the beginning of the, well, why can't it be this? Or why isn't there a
Hold on, let me write this down. 1985, the year fun died. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'll play a little bit more, but I think you get the idea. This was just in the midst of a Joe Barbera profile on 60 Minutes. And he's talking about it just makes everything the same, a sameness when you have this type of policing.
The way they rationalize, they say anything that can be imitated by a child, we don't want to see. Therefore, we don't even throw pies in anybody's faces anymore. But I'll never forget going to one.
Can you imagine that? No cream pies in people's faces.
Hello.
All because of
he did go to an exotic convention.
What are you? That was tiki culture. Anyways, a little bit more here.
One of the pressure committees and I said, well, I was raised on this kind of stuff. I was raised on this comedy, and it never hurt me. And they said, oh yes, but look at the world today. They said, we've been sanitizing our stuff for years, but I don't see the world getting any better.
Sanitizing stuff for years. I'd love to get, first of all, a very fortunate pause on the face there. I think. But what do you guys think of this? This was 1985. The gentrification of cartoons. This is just about that. Gentrifying cartoon content. But this is 40 years ago. Have things gotten better? And have we seen more of the creeping in of executives, DEI, HR departments having some influence?
That's what the
on what we see?
Netflix room looks like when you go to pitch at Netflix. That's what it looks like current day. That's what you just showed.
Yeah. I just want to get your thoughts on that clip. I thought it was unbelievable, like to mine that and see, like, even 40 years ago, this stuff was content had that kind of influence.
Well, that's why I say that the best stuff coming out in movies and TV is foreign films and foreign television, because they're not hung up on American cultural standards like this. And so they'll go in directions that we refuse to go in today.
Well, we have a profoundly infantilized society on every level. I mean, on one hand, you know, you a 9-year-old can go watch Pornhub but doesn't understand it, and you grow up and you now have a bunch of 20-somethings that don't even want to date. You know, and what is that done? And the reality of life. I mean, look, you're going to get punched in the face. It's going to happen. You need to learn how to deal with getting punched in the face. You know, that's why Rocky said it's how hard you can get hit and then still get up and keep going. I mean, those are the lessons they don't want to tell you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the reality of the world, and everyone wants to keep everything so safe. And again, that is like Major Chai Chai saying right there. I've had friends that their kids, like we were free range kids, man.
Yeah.
I walked to school or skateboarded to school or rode my bike to school, and we'd stop at the drugstore on the way home, buy candy. I was
a latchkey kid is what we were called.
Yeah. Lurid paperbacks. I mean, we had a whole secret life that our parents knew nothing about. And in that secret life, you'd learn to negotiate with your friends. You'd learn to, like, what are we going to do today? Let's go do something. You know, you'd learn. People were, I think, kids were a lot more mature about life 20, 30 years ago, because it's all of that risk has been bled out of childhood. Yeah. Let's keep everybody away from any kind of bad thoughts. And yet kids are more screwed up today than ever before.
They're trying to protect the world and keep everybody safe. And it's like, you're not allowing people to have like actual life experiences that way. You're not showing them the dangers of the world along with the good things, you know, because they want to protect everything, police everything, you know, like what is it? The helicopter parents that kind of hover over their kids and they don't let anything happen to them. They're, you know, hovering over them at the playground. They don't want them to scrape a knee. And that's basically what those chicks came off to me like, somebody that doesn't really want the kids of the world to actually experience anything bad. You know, we don't want them to see anything, even on a cartoon, you know, because that might damage them. No cream pies in the face and that kind of nonsense. It's
Yeah,
like,
Rob, when you got home late, how did your parents find you?
They didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was, when I was 13 years old, I was crawling out the bathroom, and I would crawl out on the roof of our house and jump off, grab my bike that I'd left out hidden, and then ride to my girlfriend's house, crawl into her bedroom window. We'd have our business, and then I'd do the same thing, get home at 4 a.m. on a school night. My parents didn't know.
I just feel like there are so many guardrails now. Kids are not allowed to fail. And I think failure, when you fail, when you feel the pain of, I can't tell you how many times my kids would try to tell me when they were younger, I got a stomach ache. Well, that meant I didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
And I was like, go to school. You don't have a stomach ache. You're nervous because you didn't. They need to fail early on, know that it hurts, and get over it so they can go, I don't like that feeling. What do I do? Maybe start my book report earlier, right? And I only knew that because I tried to pull the same shit.
Yep.
I tried to do the same thing. I tried to, you know, and you just learn through the pain. And I feel like what we're not allowing is kids to feel that kind of pain. The guardrails are so much there, they can't even fall and skin their knees, right? That's the extremes it's gotten. And I remember it was time to come home when it was getting dark. When the street lights came on, it was like, oh crap, I got to get home. And that was it, to the point where you would hear on the block, you'd hear like my name screamed really loud from my mom. Like that meant go home. I might be in trouble too.
If you also never wanted your parents to get involved in anything. The worst
Right.
thing would be to have parents come talk to a teacher, come talk to your principal.
Yes.
That was like the most, well, I'm going to go, you got beat up at school, I'm going to go to the school. And no, you're not. You don't want parents involved. That was the last thing in the world. You handled your own shit, man.
100%.
Yep.
And you remember, Chris, when you were a kid, kids had broken bones.
Yes.
Kids would come to school and you'd sign their casts, their leg, because we do stupid stuff. You'd fall out of a tree.
Yep.
You'd be doing something. You'd be playing football on concrete and somebody'd break their arm or leg. Yeah. I never see kids with casts anymore.
Or worse, our parents never sued anybody because of it.
No.
Well, that's a big part of it. The lawsuit craze of the 70s and 80s really did put corporate America and even creative industries on the back heels, because if they did something wrong enough, a complaint would be lodged. It'd be a lot of money. People wouldn't like it. Heck, if you had a thing, if you rode your bike and you as a kid hit a pothole and fell over, your parent in the 80s would not only just sue the city for the pothole, they would sue the bike owner as well. The bike manufacturer as well, because there's this big kind of craze in the mid 80s and late 90s where you could sue your way to wealth. I mean, there's even a comical quote of it in Suburban Commando with the Hulk Hogan movie. He's like, what are you going to do? You're going to pound my face? And they go, no, it's the 90s. We're going to sue you. Like, that was that part of the culture. and
in the 90s,
course,
I was on my bike jumping over my friends and ramps we would build. Like, we actually went outside and destroyed ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I remember if I ever needed a ride from my dad or something, I would call him, and the answer was 100% no. Walk home.
That's great.